Hey Legionnaires, welcome back. We're here with some more NTW3 action for you today, and today we have a very, very different sort of battle here. We have a Crimean war scenario here for you today, as we are recreating the Battle of Yevpatoriya, which is fought between the Ottomans, the British, and the French against the Russian bear. And yes, so in this one we do have the French and the British on the same side, something you don't really see in NTW3. So obviously, yes, they are Napoleonic units, but they're trying to recreate a Crimean scenario. Units haven't changed too drastically. Uniforms would be a little bit different, but certainly units being used at this time period as well would still be exactly the same as the chasseurs going in here against the dragoons of Russia, helping to rout them. And as you can see here, we have a dragoon of the Royal Guard of Italy here on the line, as we have the Russian centre here, the 1812 Russian centre, being backed up by 1815 UK Netherlands. I think we have another, we have France, Austria over here actually, and then we have, I think, another UK Netherlands. So I think this maybe was either for points balancing, or whether they thought these were the, like the sort of units that look most appropriate. They have got any Ottomans here though, which the Ottomans majority were here. They had the most unit, or the most men at this battle. So I was kind of a bit surprised by that. But yes, this is a Russian assault onto a town here. Oh, we have a general being attacked, and the general is routing. I think they're going to get him, but the chasseurs, they're doing an extremely great job taking out that Russian general. But yes, the Russians making an assault onto Yevpatoriya. There you go, the general dead, and it's a coastal town held by the Ottomans. And yeah, the Russians making an assault with about 17,000 infantry against about 30,000 Turkish, and there's a few like boats and stuff that are around that the British own, and there's some French sailors. So that's really like all the contribution the French and the British make. But yeah, we have them all here. Maybe it's for balancing. Maybe they thought 4 Ottoman armies against the Russians would be a fair fight. I don't know. But we are here at a coastal map, by the way. We do have a ship off the coast there. This could be one of those British frigates here off the coast, just waiting patiently, bombarding any Russians that get too close. But yeah, this is the Battle of Yevpatoriya, sent in by one of my members of the Discord. It's kind of a cool idea, doing like some slightly after Napoleonic era battles and using the NTW3 battles. We've looked at doing some other ones as well. We've got some exciting scenarios set up. But yeah, so I'm quite excited to see how this one goes down. And obviously we've got Britain and France on the same side. Something you don't see in NTW3. It seems a bit alien, to be honest. But we have got artillery set up over here as well. 8-pounders set up, and they are firing away. Hit them hard, boys. Hit them hard. Very nice shooting there. But yeah, the French just trying to keep some cavalry close by, so I guess so they can keep an eye on this Russian infantry that is moving up. I mean, the Russian infantry, I think they had different sort of style hats, but I can't actually remember. But they do look fairly similar. They're still in their dark green uniforms. I think the only thing that would maybe was different is that like the British had a lot more like bearskin, like grenadiers and stuff like that. They didn't use, maybe the shako was kind of gone out of fashion a little bit. They would use something a little bit different, but they were still in bright red as well. And the French still in blue. They were up until World War I. So that's not changed. So that all works out. I'm not really sure with the Turks, but they're not here, so we don't need to worry about them. But yeah, this battle was fought in 1855. So it's only, well, 40 years after Napoleonic, so it hasn't changed massively. They're still using muskets. Rifles were starting to come in as well. A little bit more widespread, but still like brown besses being used by the British. And I mean, certainly like other nations were still using muskets as well. The Austrians famously still used them when fighting the Prussians in their wars for Germany. But yeah, this battle's fought on the 17th of February, actually a day before my birthday. But I was not born in 1855, though I might sign that old sometimes. But we do have Lanz here. I don't think he was alive at this point in history, but I don't know why they didn't just use a combat general or something like that. But it doesn't really make too much difference. We've got Pisseris over here, who I don't think also was alive at this point. We've got the Guard Honor of Italy here. Okay, it's an elite cav unit. But yeah, this will certainly be interesting to see how this one goes down. And if you'd like to see some more like Napoleonic battles take place, like, but on NTW3, like, we're working with the best we have to make the Crimean battles. Obviously, people are like, oh, it's not historically correct. Obviously, we're doing our best. Cossacks, they're here, though. They were at the Crimean War still being used. So, yeah, if you'd like to see more, like, non-Napoleonic battles being done, then feel free to let me know if you've got any suggestions. We have got a few ideas set up. Crimean and any sort of, like, mid-19th century sort of, like, European battle are quite easy to do. You can definitely try and recreate them. But, yeah, I'm interested to see what happens in this one. How the French and the British will work together. I'm sure it'll be a pretty mighty force, but they are taking on a good, strong Russian army. Though one of them is also general. The Russians are pretty damn nasty in melee. That's the thing, the French and the British together can have a good, strong combo. They're good shooting and also pretty decent in melee. So we're going to have to see how that one goes. Do they have Italian infantry here? I feel like they should have just brought French infantry, exclusively French. Shouldn't have been able to bring any of their, like, allied troops. Like, the Italians weren't there. You didn't have any Italian lands by this point in France. You should be recruiting Italian troops. Yeah, actually a lot of Italians in this Russian center army. A lot more than any, just like basic French. But cool to see these two sides together. Once great enemies, now allies. Grenadiers of Italy. And you've got the Carabiniers of the Royal Guard of Italy as well. But they have bearskin, so I guess they can represent the British with their lack of bearskin. So I don't think the British have any sort of bearskin units over here. George Johnston, King's German Legion. You've got the Highlanders, which they haven't got bearskins, but they've got like their funny looking hat as well. They've got the Black Watch there. I think the Black Watch might be in the Crimean War. Certainly there were Highlanders there. Because they formed the famous Thin Red Line. Have we got any light brigade units to maybe do a charge of the light brigade? I know it wasn't at this battle, but still. We've got the Dutch Carabiniers here, though, instead of the light brigade, it seems. So, again, obviously, it is going to have some units there that weren't there. I mean, the Dragoons, Enniskillen Dragoons, I think they might have served at Crimea. Certainly, some of the Dragoon Guards did. Because they were part of the Heavy Brigade. That was very successful on the same day that the charge of the light brigade was not. Got Voltigeurs here as well. French cav still just sniffing about, trying to find some interesting targets. Maybe another general, who knows. But yeah, if you want to see more NTW3, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you're new on here, and feel free to leave a comment as well. It really does help out the channel as we work towards 9k subs. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one as well. If you want to send your own replays, and you're like, don't I've got some great replays for you. Feel free to send them to my Discord. The link for that is down below in the description. You can also go and check out my merch if you want. If you've got something that you want to get for Christmas, feel free to go and check out my merch. Link in the description. We've got the Queen's Own Hussars here. I'm pretty sure the Hussars were part of the Light Brigade, so I guess this is the Light Brigade, you could say. The Lily White 7th here. The Queen's Own Hussars. But they're just chilling in this forest here after this big cavalry fight that we just did see here. The French and the British did win that. And we have got Russian infantry now moving forward. I don't know if these guys aren't hidden. I was going to say, if they can see the Russians, I'm sure the Russians can see them. I'd possibly retreat this unit, though. It's a pretty good unit. The Hussars are pretty solid for the British. Got more goons over here setting up. The big, scary, like, helmets that they wear. They're goddamn ferocious with these boys. Hear the infantry just behind as well, getting ready. And the general here needs to be well protected after that last debacle that we just saw there, with the last general getting sniped and killed off. There you go, the Queen's Own Hussars retreat. Prince of Wales, what's that? Baker's Light Bobs. Oh, this is another Hussar unit over here. They look a bit more, I don't know, these kind of look a bit more like allied. If they're Hussars, they kind of look a little bit different. They got like, they haven't got the bearskin hat going on. More line infantry coming forward. Loyal Lincoln coming forward here. But yeah, we'll see how the Russians can do. I mean, obviously the Russians are going to want to try and get into melee. They don't want to get into a shooting fight with the British. Shooting fight with the French, not so bad, but still probably not best for them. These units are pretty small, but they are pretty damn deadly. And the cavalry just standing up front here as well. The King's Irish Hussars here, the King's German Legion, all just sitting here, you know, keeping an eye on the Russians, making sure they don't go anywhere too far, don't get anywhere that they could threaten the British lines. It's certainly starting off a bit quiet, both sides being quite nervy right now. We had that first little cavalry scrap, and then after that, both sides are being quite nervy, I guess, just trying to work out who's got what. This French cav way back here, and it's hidden. These Chasseurs Cheval can sweep in behind, maybe get these guns that are just sitting here. These Russian guns that have decimated the British cavalry in Crimea, and just the British generally in Crimea. They're doing the same here again. Yeah, I don't really know a lot about the Crimean War. Actually, certainly an area of history I don't really know a lot about. I know that the Russians suffered heavily from like lack of industrialization and like lack of like good roads and railways. Like during like the winter months of the Crimean War, they really struggled to get reinforcements to the front lines. But yeah, it's certainly a war I'd like to maybe learn a little bit more about. That sounds weird to say. Like, I'd like to learn more about this war where thousands died. Obviously, I know, like, Florence Nightingale, like, the big thing. And so if you're, like, in a British school, that's all you learn about is Florence Nightingale in the Crimean War. Maybe the charge of Light Brigade as well. Into the Valley of Death. Yeah, these Russian little caveat here. Maybe going to get ready for a charge in the 12-pounder here. We do have the Guard of Honor of Italy, the finest cavalrymen in all of Italy. They're being set up behind this artillery piece here, ready to go. The 12 pounds. I don't think they'll be going anywhere anytime soon. And yeah, I mean, bar that, it doesn't seem like the Russians making any major moves. Oh, here we go. That sneaky little cav unit that was in the back lines, though. Chasseurs going in, trying to take out these dragoons. I wonder whether these are returned dragoons, because they routed pretty quickly. And now they're going to go into the guns, I imagine. You can see the other Cossack unit coming across, but the Chasseurs wasting no time getting in amongst the guns here. And a second cav unit coming up here, more Chasseurs coming in. They've routed the guns, but the cav here is also routed. And yeah, it looks like those French Chasseurs also going to rout the Cossacks. Some early wins here for the coalition forces. I say coalition as well, it's not really. It's a very different coalition to what it was 40 years ago. The French have changed sides, and now with the British. This must have been a bit weird, to be honest. I mean, like, some of these British officers, like, if they'd served in the Napoleonics and then, like, got to higher ranks, they would have fought the French. It would have been a bit weird. And same with the Turks. I mean, like, the Turks not long ago fought the French. Got artillery here. Pound holes into that Russian infantry there. Cavalry here's returned. What are they going at? Oh, they're going after the artillery crew again. It's not fully routed. Very well done there by the French player. Actually, his little chasseur, I think, also has returned. So, a bit of a win there. He's got two cav units in behind. Easily routed there. Now they can just sit in behind and just hunt for generals, which doesn't look like there's any nearby just yet. And the Russians need to kind of get a move on. There's a bit of a hill that they've got to take, but it's either they stand and just die here to artillery and skirmishers, or they get moving up. I'm pretty sure at this time period as well, Britain still has some sort of influence over Hanover. So the Feldjäger here being here is not like out of the realms of possibility, but I'm pretty sure they weren't. I'm pretty sure at this point, like, Hanover was semi-autonomous. Or autonomous, I can't remember. I know, like, in the reign of Queen Victoria, which this is, well, at least I think it is. I honestly, like, that part of history, like the late 19th century, awful. I put all my knowledge into the early part, where you have the, where obviously this game is set. But yeah, I mean, Queen Victoria, you know, yeah, it would be. That would make sense. Crimean War, Queen Victoria. Anyway, like, I know with, like, Victoria is the monarch, and then you've got, like, the Duke of, I think it's, like, the Duke of Northumberland or something is, like, the King of Hanover as well. But he's, like, a relative of hers. So he's, like, both a king in his own right, but he's also, like, subservient to Victoria because he's the Duke of Northumberland. Yeah, you can see the Russians retreating. They're not happy sitting here. They actually lost decent amount of men as well. Just being shelled here. There's the odd Russians scattered about. And the British are coming off their hill. Looks like we're about to have a bit of a charge here as well. We got the Prince of Wales Hussars retreating as those Russian dragoons come charging forward. And then we've got some Russian Hussars as well coming forward. Look like they're going to try and make a push for it somewhere. I mean, there's Voltigeurs over here, like Italian stuff they can maybe make a charge on. Not much of it can form squares, so it is vulnerable to a cavalry charge. Maybe it's the weak point, but I'm not sure. I don't know if they're aware that the Italians can't form square. To be fair, actually, I'm looking at it. A lot of this French can't form square, like the 46th E there can't form square. Yeah, all of these guys cannot form square. The British usually can, so maybe the French would be the main target for cavalry in today's battle. I'm not sure. Royal Sappers and Miners. Got the Scots Foot Guard back here as well. Big old unit. Very, very cool. The guards being sent to the Crimea to get rid of these Russians. And it's not the first or the last time that the Russians will be intervening in Crimea in history. Mr. Putin, you need to watch yourself. But yeah, Ulan in here. They're going to go for, those guns by the looks of it. No, change their mind. Maybe they've seen the cavalry up here. I mean, this is definitely a very juicy target. Definitely could have been gone for. Or even like the artillery back here. But there's plenty of cav sat in the back here. And these are horse artillery as well. Probably could have got out of there just about in time. It seems so weird. I keep seeing this like Ulan in here just appear, and I'm like, oh, the French, you can just charge into the French guns, they're going to kill it. Like, I've done hundreds of NTW3 battles with France against England, or with France against Britain, and now they're fighting on the same side. It seems very alien, put it like that. But here we go. Russia finally coming forward in their big old columns, going in their line, going in columns with their line infantry. I honestly wonder if they just brought a load of cheap infantry and just tried to break their way through whether this would work. Or just go for sheer numbers. Don't go for a line fight, just go into bayonet charging, and you might break through, I don't know. But yeah, it looks like the Russians here are setting up for some sort of line fight. I don't think they're in range, but it doesn't look like they're not going with such intent as like this center over here. But I guess maybe because the Russians see a gap. Or, well, I guess they don't know there's a gap there, but there is a gap here. The French having to fill it quickly. They're throwing over their Italian Legare and also the Carabiniers of the Royal Guard, and shifting some light infantry down as well. We actually have a line fight taking place over here as well. We have the British getting engaged. This is officially the first line fight of the battle. And it's the British leading the way. Alright, please, sir. You will be remembered. I mean, the Russians are in a good position with the on the edge of that tree line. Fire when ready. For the Tsar. There we go. Glorious. Yeah, like I said, a line fight doesn't really serve the Russians at all. I mean, they're already look at this. Orange morale on one unit there. Taking these volleys from the British pretty hard. Lots of cavalry as well moving around this way, both French and English. Got Voltigeurs as well moving around as well. Oh, jeez, yeah, line's already starting to break here for the Russians. That is not good to see. I think artillery has had a say in that as well. Yeah, the line infantry really suffering there, and it looks like Russia as well getting pretty damn close on this side here with the line fight. Honestly thought we were gonna have a bayonet charge, and oh, we actually might have some cavalry going in soon. We have dragoons going in. I managed to catch out the French, and remember they can't form square. These guys are in trouble. Now we have the bayonet charge coming in from the Russian infantry. Here they go. Morale is kind of a bit low here for the Frenchies. The British are behind. They're forming square with their King's German Legion. Another charge coming in here from Russian Dragoons. And there you go, more and more Russians being piled in. I think he's going to try and rush for these guns, maybe. They can just get the British infantry into melee. They'll do okay. French infantry starting to waver, though. British seem like they're engaged. We also have the Royal Guard of Italy cavalry in here. The Dragoons of the Royal Guard. Winning slightly down here with these Frenchies, but I don't know. And they're beating 2 Russian units apparently. There you go, more Russians and French starting to break it. The British are engaged down here. Nothing incredible though, it's just like King's German Legion down there fighting. We've got more Dragoons in here, they look like they've been routed. Russians holding on in this fight for now. This will be the interesting one to see how the British do in this line fight, or this line fight, in this bayonet fight, because they are significantly weaker than the Russians in melee. Most of the units are. The Redcoats fight on. Morale, to be honest, is, I don't know. Well, apparently they're winning slightly, so if they got a good volley before, that's great. It may be okay. Oh my gosh, look at this. The Russians over here being absolutely routed. Wow. I look away, I was thinking they'll hold for a while, but no. The Russians here have been absolutely clobbered by this British army that's really in a really good spot right now. Got French cavalry routed, chasseurs over here routed as well. We're making a bit of progress here. The cavalry probably wants to get out of there. They keep forming squares. Send the infantry in. And the British infantry won't fight so well in squares. I mean, the British already boxed themselves in as well, round this sort of like bridge head, where you could say where they just landed as well. Which is kind of cool to look at and just imagine.
Our men are
Scots Guards still down here. There you go, finally the King's German Legion have been broken. Can't already see them, but the Carabineers, the Guard are fighting down here. And they're losing. The Russian Cavs also in here is trying to do some damage. And we've got the Guard of Honor of Italy. They've just helped rout those Russian Dragoons. So well done to them. We've got more Frenchies now shifting across. Lots of provisional infantry, grenadiers of the line as well. They look fantastic to these boys. Some of my favorite looking boys. Send them into the front lines. Get some kills for those grenadiers. Well, the Russians, having taken this ground pretty successfully, which is good to see because they're going to need this help, especially with that northern flank being routed.
Sir, our general is under attack.
Can't even see the French in here, but there is a general actually getting shot at. He needs to be careful. That is for sure. But look at this British army over here, just swinging around, got no sort of fear. General being killed though. I think this is the British general, but I'm not really sure where he is, but he's dead. The Russians going in, bayoneting any Brit they can see in their way. French here routing as well. We've got some Voltigeurs over here. I mean, it seems like they're doing okay over on this side. The British, King's Irish Hussars, sorry. They're routing. But yeah, I mean, hopefully the British have a decent enough infantry on this side here to hold them back. I mean, the good volleys like this are going to do some great work.
Our men are running, sir.
And in they go. In go the Ruskies. A sea of green assaults the thin line of red. It would be cool if they did like a Victorian era Total War. It would really be cool. I mean, there's so many conflicts you can cover, including the Crimean. See the Russians winning this fight. They can charge into the 73rd foot, rout them. And here comes the cavalry. Didn't form square to these this infantry here. Failed to do it. West Riding unit breaking just like that. Are any of the others going to form square? I don't know. The Russians keep charging into with melee infantry. Or melee infantry. All their infantry is basically melee infantry. They love a scrap to these Russians. There you go. British are on the run. They are very much in trouble. We've got Russian cav as well that's in behind. So the Russians making great gains on this side here, obliterating a British and French, a combined British and French army here. While on the other side, the British have obliterated a Russian army. So yeah, both sides having inflicted some pretty decent damage on each other. The Russians in a pretty tenuous position because this flank is about to get pushed here. And they don't have a lot to defend it. But on this side, they're looking really good. They've got a lot of cavalry. Some of this cavalry should return. I mean, it looks like quite healthy. But here we go. The Russian dragoons down here challenging the British line infantry. Sights never seen before in NTW3. It's a general right here though. Could the Allies go and get this? I don't know. I feel like they could have.
Our men are running, sir.
The line fight carrying on over here though. Can't really see what's going on. I mean, the green against the green in these forested areas doesn't really suit the Russians. I'm not gonna lie. Building lost though. Oh yeah, the Russians are very much in this building here now. They control this 100%. But yeah, it looks like the Russians need to send some cav maybe over to the far side, maybe support there, because currently the Allied cavalry is dominant here. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 units of cav here currently, and that could go only upwards.
The entire unit is dead, sir.
I mean, the Russians, I think, have more cavalry than they do infantry, to be honest. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, they got a lot of cav, actually. Some of this might return still. But here we go, we'll see how they do. Line fight's still going on. Like a tiny little line fight. But here come the French. They're going to make an assault, but not the French troops, but the Italians. Also can't form square, I just like to point out. And I'm also pretty sure they generally just have worse stats than the French infantry. So the Russians could bayonet charge these guys and cause a whole lot of problems. Also got the Guard of Honor escorting them forward. And the Carabiniers, the Guard. Buildings fallen to the enemy. Oh, the Russians have taken this house back here. Okay. I don't know if they're really going to achieve a lot doing that, but there you go. What can you do? But here we go. Russia really needs more infantry up here. He can't just duel with his one infantry unit. It's not going to go well for him. Can't even see what he's firing at. What are you doing, man? But yeah, if he retreats into the open fields, he might give himself a decent chance using this cav.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
The general here that's just waiting, I mean, they could just charge straight down the middle and go and get him. There's no cavalry around nearby. And there's another general over there as well. We've got Lanz and Becerras there, both waiting. Russia is very much reorganizing in some weird way. I don't know how, but apparently it's reorganizing. Yet to see it, really. There you go, the Russian infantry are about to get routed. But yeah, I'm going to make a quick cut until the battle gets back underway. Because both sides are being quite patient, quite passive right now. So I'll see you guys in a moment. So we are back underway, and as you can see, the Russians are kind of setting up for a last stand, it seems, a little bit at the moment. The British and the French have got them pinned in around this little town here. This is actually a British frigate, imagine it is. Just maybe getting pounded right now with the Russians, poor guys. They've taken this down, and now they've got to try and fight and die and hold it. They've had a really rough time. It's a shame that first army over on the far side just got routed so quickly. A Russian cav charge coming in here. Dragoons a bit tired, a bit depleted, and they're dead just like that. My gosh, that was pretty brutal from the Italian infantry there. Though they may not supposed to be here, they're proving that maybe in Crimea they did need some Italians. Got another, what we got going on the far side over here? Oh, we got a cav fight going on over here. We have Britain and Russia going in here. We got the Enniskillen Dragoons. Nothing is beating these guys. These guys are elite cavalry units. They're not getting beaten. We've got British infantry that somehow managed to flank it behind as well. Without sort of like taking any sort of repercussions. There you go. Well done there by the Enniskillen Dragoons. They need to just rest up now, get themselves going. 8th foot and the 5th foot of the King's German Legion flanking round, threatening this cavalry flank here. And you can see the Russians already giving ground, but there isn't much more ground to give. They can only go so far. The sea is just there. Also got a bit of a defense over here. The Russians actually just gunning down and shooting British troops, which is just brutal. We've got a full unit here of like the North Gloucestershire infantry. I think it's them. It's one of these units down here. It's like looks like a full unit, just sat there just vibing. The Russians are gonna have to fight for this building, which has already seen a lot of death. As you can see here, we actually have a general just in here. There's a Russian general just sat in here as well. We've got some Russian cav as well. What has happened here? How's everyone getting stuck? There you go. The French going forward. They've got a lot of provisional infantry. They might be pretty trash. Charge, boys! Get rid of these damn Ruskies. Oh, can hear another cavalry charge going on. Oh, it's not a cavalry charge, it's an infantry charge. There's a light infantry here going in. And yeah, charging the British. Bad idea. Second one coming up though, whether they just have cover for the second unit, I don't know. They do look a bit more like a Saka or something like that, or like something that's going to be decent in melee. They are going to be lower morale themselves, so they did just charge through their own breaking men. They also got shot on the flank here by the Western Riding Foot. This is a different one that didn't get routed or charged by cavalry, it seems. Yeah, really well done there by the Brits. I don't know what's happening on this flank over here for the Russians. We're just getting caught out everywhere. Artillery over here, though. Putting some holes into the British, at least. Got a lot of cavalry in the back lines here, dude. The French. And they actually is a good reason, because there is a Russian cav just sat here. We've got a lot of hussars waiting. Are they going to go for these chasseurs? They're, like, active. I take these guys out. I mean, look at that. Morale for the French, not good. Seems like they are the superior cav of the Russians. Potentially. Both sides seem like they're exhausted. Very unenthusiastic fighting going on here. And the Russians break once. So did the French. I think the French are going to win it, just about. I'm really not sure. Don't know if it's going to make much of a difference though. Oh, there you go. The Russians won, in fact. Wow. I guess the Russians can go and threaten all these guns in the back lines, but wow, there's actually a lot of them as well. Like all this artillery here being set up. And looks like we're about to see a charge here of the King's Irish Light Dragoons. They're going to go in. Going to go for this artillery piece here. And it looks like they might just about get it. They're also trying to take out that Dragoon unit, I guess. Well, I think actually they might have just survived. I think the horse artillery, yep, just about survived. Very impressive. Well done, boys. That's what the Tsar wants to see. More of that. But the Italian infantry as well getting very close. And here we go. This is a bayonet charge. And yeah, this is very close. The Russians will take this every day. And in they go. Start stabbing them up, boys. And here we go. French now coming in with the Italian Dragoons. Lots of Italians here. I feel like they shouldn't have been really allowed to bring the Italians. But hey, that's just me. Big heavy cav unit as well back here for the Russians. Yet to be committed. So the only Cuirassier unit here today, I think. Here we go. The Italian Dragoons going in, getting shot up by these Russian lines. They can't form square by the looks of it. And here we go. In go the Cuirassiers. They're going to charge all this infantry here and the Dragoons. And in go the Cuirassiers for Russia, for the Tsar. Kill them all, boys. I mean, if they can countercharge with this infantry, this is a big loss here for the French.
We have killed their general.
The general's been killed. Oh, did they shell it? And because they're all stood outside the building or something, they just died? I don't know, but they got a general. Another Russian general's fallen. It's a bad way for him to go, really. So the infantry down here fighting on hard. Do your bit, men. Fight and die. Fight for your baguettes. For your croissants. These Cuirassiers showing no mercy. And you can see the Russians moving forward. They're going to just charge whatever they can. The Italians here getting hit hard by those bayonet charges. So they might win this one. Apparently wins slightly. And morale says the same. And they're also going to just charge back their own men, the Russians. That doesn't help with morale, that is for sure. The general in very close contact as well, which is probably helping the morale of his infantry here, having his general so close. But the general not looking great, losing slightly as well. Good break here. Russian infantry breaking. And the French are incensed, they're going to charge forward. The general needs to be very careful. We've got the small Dragoon unit coming up, more French as well, getting engaged in melee. You need to get this general. This general is open to be taken out. More cavalry coming in as well. Charging more French infantry, they cannot form square. And that's going to be a general dead for the French there. I don't think that general's getting out there alive. At least I wouldn't have thought so. Jesus, it's turning into a bit of a mess. I think the general survived. I think, yeah, he survived just about. The Russian Cavs getting hit hard here. These Dragoons are going to get rear charged with this Ulanen. This might honestly break the Dragoons. It's a rear charge from a Lancer. Yeah, there you go, breaks them. It's like a tiny little unit, 19 men, rather than something much, much larger. And the Russians, I think, are going to be defeated here. Like this big, aggressive push by the Russians, risking all, and they just couldn't break through some of these lines here. They got cavalry in the back, that heavy cav still here. We've got some Dragoons as well. I feel like they could have done with bringing it up. It's all or nothing it should have been for the cav. And it's just not pulled off. On this side, though, kind of still holding. Got the Black Watch in here, though, fighting away. British still steadily marching forward. And here we go, charge from the Dragoons, knocking into these units up, forming square. Well done there by the West Riding Infantry. Forming square, holding the line. Scaring off those Dragoons pretty easily, actually. I mean, the morale for the remaining Russian infantry units as well is not going to be great. It's just watching all their friends and comrades run away. I mean, there isn't much left for the coalition either. Certainly not infantry. Cav and artillery is certainly a little bit more. Still hold the building, I think, with the Russians. I'm surprised they haven't got in with the Cameron Highlanders yet. 79. Send them in. Take it. There you go, the Russians start to break. And once one breaks, morale's gonna just, start to drop for all the other ones. It's only this one unit over here that's holding. I can't even see where it is. It's so hidden in the undergrowth, but it is beating the Frenchies here. Cheese and the Highlanders, the Gordons. They start on fire, and they just get out of melee. Brutal. There you go, in go the other Highlanders, the Camerons. They're gonna try to get these Russians. They should, I would imagine, win. Nothing beats an angry Scotsman. Merciless volleys now from the British, shooting retreating and still standing Russians. There aren't so many of the latter though. This carry might just go for one last all-out charge somewhere. And there you go, the Camerons are successful. Looks like some more Russians going to go in there. I don't know whether... Yeah, looks like they're going to rally. They've rallied, but... It'll be a shell of the former selves. Fighting around the this building. Whether they'll hold, I don't know. The cavalry go in. Oh, looks like the Russian cavalry now going in. I'm going to take up the running skill in here. There you go, the Allies have captured the house, so it is now in British and French control. And the Russians here making one last honourable charge. And I think they're going to get routed here in a moment. The general's close by, but it won't make much of a difference, unfortunately. Morale order going to red. And there you go, broken, dead, gone. And I think I'm just going to fast forward now because there is not much left of the Russians. I think that might be it, actually, this final unit here, these final two. So yeah, the Russians have been defeated here at Yevpatoriya.
A glorious victory,
I think how you say it, but I'm not entirely sure. I've already forgotten how you say it. Yevpatoriya, yeah, Yevpatoriya. I don't think I have the end results, unfortunately. Again, they just disappeared. I'll have a look and see if I have them and put them in there. But yeah, this was sent in by Richard Lionheart, who was playing as one of the British armies. So thank you very much to him. Well done to everyone else who was playing in this battle. It was a pretty interesting one. Nice to see sort of like a Crimean war sort of scenario. It was certainly a little bit different, that is for sure. But yeah, certainly was in like an interesting idea. And I'd like to see some more like sort of like Crimean style battles. See if it can be done. It's obviously hard, don't have the right units, but we're working what we have until we have a proper Victoria total war. But yes, we have the Scots Guards here, 112 kills. Like Gloucestershire Foot getting 90 kills. Lincoln Volunteers 87. Not too bad, that is for sure. But there you go, not too shabby. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, the Crimean sort of scenario, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and a comment to show support. And I'll see you guys in the next NTW3 battle. Until then, bye for now.